Okay, so why don't you tell me about the Eyewitness books?
All right. Well, growing up, I loved the Eyewitness books because I was and am a nerd, and I loved learning and still do. And although I don't know if Mammal was necessarily my absolute favorite Eyewitness book, I love mammals, so I chose this particular one for today. And I just like learning in general. I always want to learn. I always want to continue to learn. And something I love about these books is it's just so easy to learn. There's so much information there, whether you want to kind of just look at the sort of the big picture stuff, but I'd always read the little, small, eight point font captions as well. And I mean, you can see one thing I love about Eyewitness books is it actually gets incredibly detailed. Like just looking at these skulls here, I mean, it gives you the scientific name, also called this, how many species, it's just like you can get into these really deep details, but then it's also just very kid oriented. And so it's a good way to, I think, push yourself as a reader and as a child and as a learner to, if you don't feel like you can handle these deep, difficult concepts, then that's okay. But if you want to push yourself a little bit, you can do that as well and learn a lot. And so I was just always a big fan.
Now, how did it affect what you have done with your life?
Well, I've worked a good amount in biology and the field of environmental conservation. I've worked specifically with mammals, but I've also worked for a few different endangered species and in environmental conservation in general. And I think it opened up my eyes a little bit and opened up my mind a little bit to look at things a little bit differently, to see things as, I think, a little more complex. Because, for example, you can just look at like a picture like this and, get kind of basic information just by seeing it, but then you can kind of dig in, like, okay, there's an arrow pointing to the back teeth, molar teeth for crushing meat. So I just learned, a little bit more about this, what would have been kind of a shallow concept for me. So, I think opening up my mind and my eyes to the idea that there's so much more than meets the eye. You can really dig in deep and keep on digging and finding out more and more and more. And I'm sure this book probably has a book on teeth specifically. You can just go so far deep into the rabbit hole, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like Wikipedia before Wikipedia.
That is wonderful. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.